Hey guys, how are you doing? Happy Saturday. Hope you're having an amazing Saturday morning, afternoon, evening, depending on wherever you are in this, in the world. But yeah, I mean, for me, it's a beautiful Saturday morning here in Toronto, Canada. The weather is nice, quite warm, very surprising because it's been cold, over the past few days. But today's weather has been nothing short of, being amazing. And I'm looking forward to going outside to get some sunshine immediately after I'm done with the interview. But yes, for those who have joined us, welcome. Please drop your location in the comment section. Let me know where you are watching from. Rep your city. Share this video. Tell your friends to join and tell your family members to also join us because this live session is going to be really, really explosive. My guest is somebody that a lot of you will definitely want to know more about. And of course, you know how we do it every first Saturday of the month. It's all about moving abroad, the immigrant success story. And on the show today, I have the one and only Eddie Osaman Adodo. A lot of you already follow him on social media and you would get to know more about him. But yeah, while we're waiting, okay, yes, he's right here. Let me add him.
Good morning.
Showing here. Can you see me?
Yes, I can see you.
Eddie.
Happy Saturday.
Yo, my G. Yo.
Happy
Yo.
weekend.
Yo. What do you do? What do you do? What do you
I'm good. I'm
do?
good.
What do you do? What do you do? What
Hey,
do you
my
do?
personal person.
Eh, eh, eh. I'm so excited to have you here. I mean, it's been a long time coming, and I'm happy
Yeah,
that you finally found time to do this because you're very busy, always
yeah.
traveling, going around, Yeah, yeah, yeah. You're my number one traveler on my timeline. Yeah.
Hey.
So yes, welcome to the show. This is Moving Abroad Immigrant Success Stories. And our guest today is the one and only Eddie Osaman Adodo, a seasoned Nigerian Canadian businessman, traveler, author, and training specialist. If you're watching, please share this video, tell people to join us so that we don't keep going back. Because what I realize is that, when the live session starts, we're talking, and then
Yeah,
people will come back and start to ask questions, about things that we already discussed. So
yeah,
please tell your friends to join us, tell your loved ones to join us, most especially people who are looking at relocating abroad and I've heard different stories about the immigrant journey. This is the reason why I do this because I want people to see that immigrants are thriving. It's not an easy road, and just having people share their stories would also motivate people who are on this journey or people who
yeah.
just maybe relocated abroad and are trying to
Absolutely.
figure things out. When they see that people who did it previously, maybe 5 years ago, 6 years ago, are thriving in their fields and are, doing the things that they love, it would also motivate them and inspire them to just, keep it going. But yes, hi Eddie, it's good to have you here. I'll read your full
Same
bio
here.
in a second. I just want to quickly acknowledge, some of our viewers. Thank you all so much for joining. Earlier on, I asked people to rep their cities and let us know where they are watching from. And I see my big sister, she is Dolako ATL and she is repping ATL. Thank you so much, sis. I see Dick 45 says watching from Nigeria, and I see lots and lots of other people who have joined us from different parts of Canada, Nigeria, the US, and just everywhere. So just a brief introduction about my guests. Eddie Osama, as I mentioned earlier on, is a seasoned Nigerian Canadian businessman, traveler, author, and training specialist. Eddie began his overseas sojourn in 2016 and arrived in Canada in 2018. Having lived in 4 continents of the world, he is the founder and lead consultant of I Travel Canada specialists of I Travel Canada. He's a specialist in European studies and general travel consultancy. Eddie also owns EBIT Media Canada, a content creation company. And every Sunday, he does the Travel Street Talk travel show. Eddie is a very honest and direct person. We're going to talk about that very soon. And his social media, of course, is a gold mine of information. This is a page that I follow, and I always get quality information and, quality content also about travel and, very light-hearted content that is easy to watch and shares a lot of valuable information. So, Eddie, you're on the hot seat today. How does it feel being on the hot seat?
It's a pleasure, of course, now. Yeah, I'm absolutely honored to be, on your platform today to share the journey so far. And of course, as a Christian as well, all the glory, goes to God because he's the one who has made me who I am today. So before I say anything about what I've done, all these things, I always mention God first because if it wasn't God, I wouldn't be where I am today. So all the accolades and glory goes to him. Then I'm also grateful, of course, to you for, calling me on to share my story as well. So I'm very happy. I'm very happy to be here today.
Awesome. Thank you. Thanks for that. And of course, yes, so all glory to God. And yeah, I'm happy that you're also thankful for the journey and the process. So let's dig right in and, let's talk about your journey abroad. Because of course, the title of this live is Moving Abroad, Immigrant Success Stories. So let's start from, your first relocation journey. I know that you previously lived in Nigeria. So just, give us a rundown. Tell us about the journey, the process, the first continent that you moved to outside of Africa, the country, and your journey from there, and then we'll take it from there.
All right. So I'll start from this very point. If you had told me in 2015 that I was ever going to fly a plane, I would yell at you because, flying a plane was just like going to heaven. Let me start from there. For those who are watching Nigeria, yeah. So it has always been something I dreamt to achieve, to just be on that plane. So the journey started in 2016. It was unexpected, opportunity to go to the eastern part of the world, which is eastern Russia. So that's like 12,000 kilometers from Nigeria. So it's like far east as you can think. So I had an opportunity to study there. So I took the opportunity because of some personal reasons. So I had to leave, Nigeria. So, but then when I got there, I got to Russia in 2016. That was the first time I flew a plane. And, as a Nigerian person now, first way I play for the first time. Like, I ended up, flying 3 flights that day, as somebody who has been eager to fly a plane. So I flew 3 that to go to the stage. So I always say, people will be like, it's not flying plane. But yes, to me, it was a dream come true. So I always start from that basics because everything about me is always from the foundation, the very basics. So then I got to Eastern Russia. I studied in a city called Novosibirsk. It's a city in Siberia in Russia. So I got there on the 16th of October, 2016. And I would say it was an uneventful environment because I was not expecting the weather, number one. I was not expecting. So I got there and started studying, and there's that part of the world is, I would say, the experience there is just on a different level. Getting to meet people I've never seen before, and getting to live in a part of the world where people of my skin color hardly exist. I would say if you're comparing it to life in Canada, let's say the whole of Ontario, just about 10 black people in the whole of Ontario. That is
Wow.
how we were. Yeah. We were
Wow.
so rare. Yeah. So when we get to that part of when we get to go outside on the bus, shopping mall and all of that, people just come to us, white people, they just come to us and they're like, the excitement, they want to hang out with you, take photos with you and all of that. It was just a whole different
Almost like they should put you in a
yeah.
museum for people to come and be paying to watch you.
Exactly. People literally call us to come and hang out with them on a weekend like that, and
Wow.
it was a whole different vibe. But
But that's a good
then,
thing.
yeah,
That's a good thing.
it was a very good thing. It's a very good thing because that opened opportunities for us. And of course, for those who are planning to travel abroad, one of the downsides of going to countries like that is that they don't speak English. So it was a whole learning curve for myself and for the other Nigerians and Africans who traveled at that time. So we had to bury our heads into the language to learn the Russian language. And
Wow.
yeah, because without that, we couldn't integrate into the society. Yeah, so that's a piece of advice for those who are traveling abroad, even to the big countries. You're planning to study maybe in Germany, Finland, Sweden, and all of that. The number one key to integration or inclusion into the society is knowing the language. So learning the language really helped us, integrate into the society. And from there, life became easier. So I would say the first 5 months, 4 to 5 months, life was not easy at all because the language, the symbols, the letters, everything was just different. And I would say this is a country where up to 99.9% do not understand English at all.
Wow.
Yeah, so you have to deal with it. You just have to deal with it.
So it's almost a case
Well,
of why are you coming to our country when you can't speak the language? What are you coming
yeah,
for?
that was number one. And another question people were always asking us was, why are you here when this place is so cold? We are running away from our country because it is cold. Why are you coming here? It was a whole different vibe. And Siberia generally, they have the coldest cities in the world. If you check on Google, there's a city called Yakutsk. It's in Siberia. It's the coldest place in the world. There's no place in the world
Wow.
as cold as that. We're talking about minus 75 degrees, minus 80
Wow.
degrees. Yeah. Yeah,
And people live
that is the
there?
average winter. Yeah. No, I never went there, but I had friends who were
No, people
living in
live
that part
there.
of
Like human
Russia.
beings.
So
People live there.
yeah, people live there. That's the part of the world where if you are driving your car out of your garage, you have to make sure it is on all day. So let's say you are going to the shopping mall to Walmart, you leave it at Walmart, the engine must be running. You go
Wow.
to buy, yeah, the engine must be running. If it stops, your car is dead. You
Your
cannot
car is
move beyond that
there.
point. Yeah.
No way.
So that was just some of the things we encountered in that part of the world. So I studied there for about a year and 3 months before I had to come back to Nigeria again for personal reasons. And the reason was because I was looking towards North America. For people who want to travel, sometimes I always say this, not everybody can get from downstairs to the highest floor immediately. Some persons can use the elevator. Some persons may have to pass through the staircase. So life is not the same for everybody. So
Very
for
true.
some people, for some folks who are trying to travel to Canada, maybe from Nigeria to Canada, not everyone may be able to do that directly. Some may have to, you may have to gain experience in several other countries to build yourself before you now focus on the big countries. So that was my kind of person. I wasn't the person who had the ability to just move from Nigeria to Canada and just, no, it
Immediately.
wasn't the same for me. So I had to go through
Hmm.
several other,
But
means
but
to be where.
but I want to ask a question. Why Eastern
Yeah,
Russia? Why exactly? Was it that the course that you wanted to study was available maybe in a school there or something? Because it's not every time that
yeah,
you just hear that somebody wakes up and
yeah,
packs their bags and says, "Oh, this is, where I'm going to go to," which is Eastern Russia. Like that's
yeah,
not one of the countries that is very popular in Nigeria. In Nigeria, you hear of countries
yeah,
like Canada, Australia.
yeah.
You see people moving to the UK or to the US, but
You know,
countries like that, you don't really hear of people going to Russia or anything like
yeah,
that. So
yeah.
why exactly did you choose?
So basically, at that period of 2015, 2016, that was the time express entry started in Canada. So it wasn't really popular Yeah. So the reason I went to Russia was number one because of some personal reasons, and secondly because it was the only opportunity available to me at that time.
At that time,
So
okay. Okay.
we didn't know about Canada Express entry because it just started. People had not we have not been seeing the results yet. So that was the time we went towards. We just went, to that part of the world because it was the opportunity available to us. Yeah.
Okay. Fantastic.
Yeah.
Okay, so continue. I'm enjoying your story. So from
All
there,
right. Yeah, so let me just pray a little bit about the life of Russia generally, just to give us a picture. I know at this time of course, what's happening right now, people wouldn't want to know about Russia and because of the war that's going on right now in Ukraine and all of that. But then I would say I met really fantastic people. You know, yeah, people would say racism and all of that. Of course, racism. You know, racism. You and I know racism is everywhere. Every year in Canada, it's everywhere.
everywhere.
But then one thing I could note from them was when Russians speak, they speak so aggressively. So you think they are naturally aggressive, they are not. It's just the way they speak. Both men and women likewise, they speak aggressively. And of course, people know Russians, they drink a lot. Like they drink a lot. That's their nature because of the weather, I guess. And yeah, Russians are naturally good people. So it's just the part that really got me. If he was when I got to the country, everybody was just so aggressive when they speak to me. So I found it difficult because as a Nigerian who is very quiet, we know say with the Jaye too, but our energy for Jaye is once in a while. But the nature of just talking loud and aggressive, I couldn't cope with that for a while. But then, as time went by, yeah. So that was one major thing. And of course,
But we shout as well when we talk. A lot of us shout.
yeah, we shout naturally. Even in the hostel as Nigerians, when we are, when we the Jaye, they go and report. Yeah, they always go and report that when they make noise on Friday night like this, we don't put music. You better the hostel 1-4 because that is, when we are together, things got to flow. Okay.
The group got to flow.
Exactly.
Right.
But then just being alone, it's always and people are speaking so loudly at you. It's always a problem. So yeah. So and the language too. For those who are thinking about ever going to that part of the world, you just have to focus on the language. Russians, Ukrainians, Belarusians, especially people that are having this problem right now, they basically speak one language, and yeah, the language is very interesting, and the letters are very interesting. But anyway, if you want to speak, you can ask me to say anything in English, and I will do my best to say it in Russian.
So that means you can speak properly, like very.
Yeah. Well. Yeah.
That's so cool. How long did it take you to learn?
It took me about 7 to 8 months before I started grasping the language because that was what we were learning. So we are learning the language and the literature of Russian. So it took me about 7 to 8 months. But what really helped me was the church I was going to over there. So we had an interpreter who would come in to sit with us and be translating what the pastor is saying in English. So at the time, I had to tell her, I really appreciate your effort, but I don't think I will need this right now. If I really want to be, if I really want to be inclusive in society, I want to integrate in society, I need to know the language. So yeah, the church really helped me a lot. Yeah.
Very important. Okay, thanks. So, so to all our followers and to everyone watching right now, I want you to tell them, I want you to appreciate them for watching, thank them for joining us, and then tell them to follow me on Instagram and also follow your handle to say it in the language.
So I'll just try to say it in Russian and English so that people will know what I'm saying. So I know that I'm speaking in tongues.
What are you saying? Yeah.
So hi everyone, привет всем. Hi everyone. Меня зовут Eddie. My name is Eddie. Я из Нигерии. I am from Nigeria. Я очень доволен, что мы сегодня здесь. I'm so satisfied and happy that we are here today. So please follow my page, my Instagram page. We don't have a name for Instagram. Yeah, but please follow my page. Извините, пожалуйста, сидит ко мне и в Instagram. So follow me on Instagram. Спасибо большое. Thank you very much.
So they should not follow me, Abby. It's only you.
Okay. Yeah, it's the same. Okay, let me say it this way. Mojna, Sidit's Lady Ariyike. Please follow Lady Ariyike for Instagram, on Instagram.
Yes,
Spasiba.
right.
Thank you.
You're doing well. You're doing well. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well done. I mean, that's such a big deal for, for an adult to travel, move to another part of the world, and also get to learn the language, because it's easier for kids to grasp languages,
Yeah,
but with adults, you have to make a conscious effort to learn the language. And I feel like the language is not even easy to learn. It's like
yeah.
it's 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 one of the hardest to learn. So well done. I mean, well,
Thank you very
French.
much.
I think French is still a bit easier to learn because the
Yeah,
words are very simple. Some of the words are even similar to English. So I feel like
yeah.
it's easy to learn, but well done. And now,
Thank you.
I want you to also I mean, because we're talking about a country that is, you know, doing a lot right now in the
Yeah,
political international scene.
yeah.
And I just want you to, if you were still in Russia at this point in time, what would your message be to to Russians and to Ukrainians?
Oh, of course.
Considering that everyone is talking about world peace, and people,
Yeah, yeah,
nobody wants division, nobody wants war. We're just coming out of COVID, and
yeah,
there is still COVID, even though the lockdown has been eased off. And this is what we have to battle. All of this is going on internationally, and it's affecting everyone worldwide, because a lot of countries are dependent on Russia for a lot of things. Countries are dependent on Ukraine for a lot of other things. So we're all feeling
the
the
heat.
heat. Yes.
Yeah.
So I just want you to give a message to the two countries.
Yeah, basically, I would say two things because I have folks in Russia, I have folks in Ukraine as well. When this whole stuff started, I was literally communicating with everyone. I hope you guys are okay. Some have even crossed into Poland, crossed into other parts of Europe. So there are two things I would say: fight for peace, and two, hide your head. Be safe. That's all. Because while we are looking for peace, waiting for everything to be settled, we just want to make sure that we ourselves we are safe. That is all. It's a crazy world, and as Christians as well, we also understand that we already know that these things are going to happen at this time of our life. So we should just fight for peace, ensure that we follow peace, at all times, and hide our head, be safe. Very, very important. Because they say now, who they are alive, now they experience peace. Who don't die, don't die. So that's the reality, and that is my advice.
Fantastic. Thank you very much. So moving on. This is Eddie, who had never entered an aeroplane. He had never been flown out. And this is you getting on four different flights, traveling from Nigeria to Russia to just move out of Nigeria and just go start a new life abroad. So tell us about, the defining moments that made you want to move out from Russia
Yeah.
and then move to the next country.
All right. So from Russia, that was in 2018. I had to come back to Nigeria
Okay.
because life beyond the eastern part of the world and looking at you know North America. So I had to come back to Nigeria, just keep myself on the low and start working on coming to North America. Now, earlier on I said I've lived in four continents of the world, and really I have because going back to Russia a bit before I continue my journey, Russia is split into two parts. We have the European Russia and we have the Asian Russia. So Russia is literally into continents. So when you are in Russia, you can say you have lived in Europe and you live in
And
Asia as well.
Asia.
Yeah.
Okay.
And also, even after my coming here to Canada, I've also been to Europe several times. I've been to Europe. I've been to several countries in Europe, especially last year. So literally, I would still count it as four continents of the world. So when I was in Nigeria, I had to start working towards being in North America. So in June 2018, I landed in Canada officially. So I have a work permit, and I have been using that to work for a while. And of course, currently I'm a permanent resident of Canada, and currently looking towards my citizenship as well. So we give God all the glory. It's been a long journey, being in Canada as a worker, and things especially in the area of the weather, of course, which I'm not used to. It's new, especially coming from where I'm coming from. When I landed in Canada, people were looking at me, Eddie, why are you, during winter like this, I'll be wearing shirts like this. I would open my window and be living normal during winter. People were thinking I was crazy. I wasn't crazy. It was just my body adjusting again to the weather and all of that. So being here as a worker, transitioning to permanent residency, then establishing a business during the time of the pandemic, it's been a journey. And one of the major things I decided to start my platform was just to, help people who have also, or who are currently in my shoes. They are not able to navigate directly to the big countries. They are finding ways to, at least, even if I'm not able to get to Canada, the big league countries, let me try and find my journey through other areas. So that's the reason I started my platform in 2021, Travel Street Talk. Every Sunday, we'll come live, we answer questions. Sometimes I use my computer, share my screen, start showing people how to really get these things done by themselves. So I'm so glad for the success stories. We have been receiving so many success stories. Even, I think it was about 2 months ago, that was my last visit to the airport, Pearson Airport. I went to welcome. So anytime you are coming, I'm like, if you know you are coming to my city, just let me know. I don't mind, picking you up at the airport, welcoming you at the airport. I always do that because it's part of the joy, when you get to.
To clarify, the people that you're welcoming are your clients.
Not necessarily clients. They are people who have helped. Yeah, who have helped on through their journey. People who have been on my platform. They reach out to me. Some have problems. Some have been denied. Some are just starting. Some are currently on their journey. They don't know what to do. They come on my platform and we start.
People you've engaged with.
Yeah, so we start building them up with assistance, giving them information, guides, my email, because that's where I do most of my stuff. My email. We write email. That's where I really sit down to really, converse with these folks, give them tips, ideas. And so when the success stories start coming in, they start sharing it to my email. Like I received one a few days ago. The person said she was just approved to study in Canada. She said she's going to land this April. She said she's going to land this April. So I wrote her, I was like, congratulations. So if you're coming to my city, let me know. I don't mind meeting you at the airport because that is what I do. I always like to meet the folks who have been through that journey, giving them that, in quotes, red carpet welcome to a new country as Canada is a thing of joy. So I always like to do that all the time. I tell them, if you are coming in, let me know. If it's my city, shoot me a message. Let's jaye, let's celebrate. So that's it.
I love that. That's good. Yeah. And most especially people who don't even have family or they don't know anybody here in Canada.
Yeah.
Having somebody to welcome them is always like such a big deal. Okay, so I want to quickly take you back. I remember you said you had a work permit and then now you are a permanent resident. So can you take us through that journey? So did you get a job from Nigeria and then you got a work permit? Or did you come here as a student and then you were using a student's visa and work permit? Because that's also like the main essence of this show for people to kind of understand the process in terms of, how people are able to move abroad, the different immigration ways that people can come. So tell us about yours.
Yeah. So I had a work permit because I'm highly skilled in the field of education. And that is currently what I'm doing. That's my current job as well. So the process, of course, for me had to go through getting an employer, and then having that work permit, which enables you to move all the way from your country to Canada. So I'm a worker. I've never studied in Canada. And currently I'm still using my Nigerian degree to work. So I know a lot of folks who, are working. They have studied in Canada. They have Canadian education. I don't have Canadian education till today. but by the grace of God, I'm looking towards studying here in Canada. So I'm a worker in Canada, currently still using my Nigerian degree. Of course, I'm a permanent resident already, and by the grace of God, looking towards citizenship.
To get
So
senior
yeah,
citizen. Awesome. So you got your work permit from
yeah,
Nigeria
Nigeria,
when you were
yeah,
living in Nigeria, and you
yeah,
got it on the basis of you being a worker in the educational sector, being
yeah,
that's your
yeah,
expertise, being
yeah.
an
That's my area
educator.
of expertise. Yeah,
So
I've
people
been
who
in that
work in
field.
that field, so people who
Yeah,
work in that field, in different parts of the world, be it Nigeria or wherever,
yeah,
as long as they are licensed in that field, maybe they're licensed teachers or something, educators, can they get
yeah,
a work permit from where they are? Let me speak
yeah,
specifically for Nigeria because I know there are a lot of
yeah,
people joining us from Nigeria. So if I was a Nigerian teacher and I wanted to
yeah,
move to Canada, would I be able
yeah.
to get a work permit if I get a Canadian employer?
Yes, you would be able to. We have several programs, several international programs. The most popular one for a lot of people is TESOL, which is teaching English as a second official language or teaching English as a second language. So that's just one of them. But another area is we have some
So is that
Ontario
for
cities
English teachers or what?
for English teachers. Yeah, you wonder, yeah, teaching English as a second language, yeah. It's another platform a lot of people use. People who are certified in TESOL, they use it to travel.
Wow.
And yeah, it's major,
TESOL.
especially for non-English speaking countries. Canada counts as bilingual. So Canada is not officially English only in quotes. So English teachers are still needed here in Canada.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah. Because of course, there are lots of immigrants who do not speak English at all. They are permanent residents, they are citizens, they do not know English at all. There are people who just know French. So they need to know English to be balanced in the country, to integrate in society. So TESOL is a major platform. I got to know through a friend of mine in Russia. She has been using it to travel around the world, and that's where I got to know about TESOL. So it's a major platform through which teachers, can immigrate. And of course, if you come to a province like Ontario, you also want to make sure that you get certified, as an educator. We have early childhood educators and all of that. So you want to make sure that you are certified so that you can be able to push your career further. Education is just like engineering and all other platforms, where before you can really practice in full, you need to be certified in your
You need
field.
to. Yes. Yes. So are you now certified or you're in the process?
Yeah, I'm now certified because I had to go through several processes through my employer and all. But majorly, now that I'm a permanent resident of Canada looking towards citizenship, that's one of the reasons I really want to go back to school to pursue the field of education again or the field of business because those two key areas have always been my first rifle tie. You introduced me as a businessman. We have no business, but at the same time, it's very important for us to also look at other areas of who we are. So this is also an advice to anybody who is trying to pursue a career out there. The major thing about career pursuit, I know for a lot of people pursue careers based on the money. Money is very good, but at the same time, your career should be some way, let it be connected with your personality, who you truly are. That is where you can really enjoy the career because sometimes money is very good. You always get the money, but money is not everything when it comes to careers and who we are. I always say this. As a person, you have something in you that moves you towards a goal. That is your talents. Your talents are like your GPS. They are like if you're looking for how to connect to your purpose or your future, your talent is a GPS that God has put in you. It will lead you to your destination. So it might not be 100% your destination, but your talent will help you get to, we help you basically have an idea of what your future should be. So once you know your talent, you know the talent that you have, try and pursue a career that is centered around your talent because it will help you fulfill your purpose and you will still make that money that you want to make. So this is what I'm currently doing in childhood. I noticed this when I was in primary school, that I lead people, I pass knowledge. So all through the years, my only focus was I tried to do other things. It didn't work for me. That's another story, but I can just share it too. When I was in the university in Nigeria, my aim was to study medicine, because of course, Nigerian parents now, you said that you are a doctor or you are a lawyer or you are an engineer. So I was trying to be a medical doctor. It failed. It failed for me. I was among the first set of Nigerians that wrote post-UME. That was in 2005, 2006. I think 2004, 2005, 2006. We wrote first post-UME. So I scored.
What's post-UME? Is that not JAM?
After JAM, it was JAM before in Nigeria. Once you write JAM, you gain admission directly. But during our time, that was the time the National Assembly, they were making deliberations that they want to add a second layer of verification of students before they give admission.
After JAM, you write
After JAM, that's what so they were deliberating on instituting post-UME.
Post-UME.
Yeah. So that was the period I wrote my JAM. So my score wasn't high to gain admission to medicine in Uniben because I was targeting Uniben. So I was not praying that post-UME should be endorsed. I heard they endorsed it, so we're the first to write post-UME. So back then, the was 100 for post-UME to gain admission. But when I wrote, I scored 121. So it was above the cutoff mark. So I was already happy that I was going to get admission to medicine. But that for the Faculty of Medicine, they increased their cutoff mark to 150.
Wow.
So that was what knocked me off. And I was now thrown to a department that I never expected, which was computer science. So during that time, I couldn't cope with, the knowledge because that was not my field. And I dropped out. That was around year 2 to year 3.
You dropped out of computer science?
Yeah, in Uniben. Yeah, I dropped out. I gained some knowledge, but I couldn't cope. I dropped out. So if you say somebody was a school dropout, I was a school dropout. So around that time, I was literally like, I lost all hope. Yeah, I lost all kinds of hope and I was just out of it. But my dad encouraged me, continue, try again. So I now tried again and I got admission to a part-time program in the field of medicine, but not really medicine. It was science, laboratory, technology. And I now graduated and I now made the first class. So
in what course? What course did you study?
Science, laboratory, technology.
Science? Laboratory
technology. Yeah. So that was how I graduated and I now made the first class from the University of Benin. And I was the only guy among 7 women that made first class. So it was like a journey from zero. Yeah. Yeah.
Can we give him the applaud emojis or the 2 hands up emoji?
We thank God.
I want to see that in the comment section. Wow, that's a big deal.
Yeah, we thank God. Yeah, so that was how my journey started, having that degree and looking towards opportunities overseas. So the point, like I mentioned earlier, the point was I was trying to go to other professions, trying other stuff. But then everything still went back to my personality, which is being a leader and somebody who educates people. And that is currently what I'm doing. So if you say somebody is fulfilled and happy, I will tell you by the grace of God, I'm fulfilled and I'm happy because it still has to come back to who I currently am. So yeah,
awesome.
Give God all the glory.
Awesome. And you know what I want to say? I want to also say something because I know you personally and we talk. And when we spoke this morning, you said you had to go to your church to sort out some computers to help them fix some things.
Yeah.
And I know that, at Canada Vendors events, because, Miriam is my sister. You're always the go-to guy. And I'm always the one that makes sure that you take a picture because you never even have time to do anything else apart from focusing on your focus. And you're always like behind all the tech, computers, media, and all of that. So in talking about, how life will always kind of still take you back to your passion, you dropped out of school from computer science school, But then
Yeah,
you're still back to being the computer guy.
yeah. So I would say the knowledge there was never lost. Though I spent 2 years there, the knowledge was not lost because I gained a lot. And most importantly, most of the things I do today, I gained also from my elder brother because he's in the field of computer and also a content creator. He's had almost 19 years of experience in
Wow.
content creation. Yeah, he went to this Wole Adenuga school in
Production.
Lagos. People that produce Papa Jazz school.
Yeah,
There
when
was
they
even a
used
time, yeah,
Adenuga
there was even a time he
Production.
was, yeah, there was even a time he was on one of the Papa Jasco shows. So I looked up to him in that area of computers and video editing, content creation. So that it was from him I learned by looking at him. Yeah, so iBeat Media is just like, you know, a product of learning from one's brother. And yeah, so the field of computer, the field of content creation, those things were never, the knowledge that I gained in computer sciences was never lost by the grace of God. And that's what I'm using today. And of course, another thing that helped was the fact that I was born, one of the talents I was born with is in fine arts. I know how to draw a lot. So that idea, though I do not how to draw like holding a pen to draw, it's still there in me. But that talent has now transformed into having a mind of creativity that I can picture something and do it just by picturing. So by the grace of God, that is what I'm using today. That's why iBeat Media was established and by the grace of God, still running. Yeah.
Fantastic. I love that. And, I also just want to quickly pick on the drawing part, the love for
Yeah.
the art. When I was
Yeah.
in nursery and primary school, I
Yeah.
was the best art student. Like, I would
Wow.
draw. Yeah, and I can still draw very well. I draw. I draw
Wow.
at home, but I want to learn how to draw on the computer. But I see that a lot of my creativity comes from the fact that I'm very visual and I can draw. I can visualize things very easily. And
Yeah.
I come up with a lot of ideas. I put it down in writing. Some of them I have to draw them. Even my
Yeah.
book, my children's book, a lot of the characters, I had to draw them and
Wow.
send them to the illustrator because she
Wow.
wasn't getting the way I wanted the characters to be. So I had to draw some and just said, this is kind of like what I want.
Yeah.
And, being somebody who is very good in the arts, he always helps you, in being creative. I remember one of my friends that I hadn't seen since primary school. I bumped into her in London, and the first thing she said, she was like, "Do you still draw?" I was like, "Do I still draw?" I didn't even remember I could draw back then. She was like, "In home science, you were the best in drawing in art." Like
I can
no wonder
imagine.
even her mom remembers me from
Wow.
my arts because she always used to tell her mom about all the things that I used to draw. Because from primary school, I used to have storybooks.
Yeah.
I'll make storybooks, draw, write,
Wow.
and then I'll share it to my friends. And some of them will take it home, and I'll
Wow.
just never see them. They'll never bring it back. So I guess she must have taken some home, and then her mom would have been like, "Wow, the person that drew this was she? Is she actually your classmate?" So she said her mom was always asking of me. I want to
Wow.
know, does she
Wow.
still draw? Yeah, so you guys, look out. I'm going to have my art exhibition very soon.
That would be very awesome. Really.
Yeah, so I
Yeah.
mean, having these kind of talents, they go a long way in helping you to do a lot of other things.
Yeah.
So yeah, so thanks for
I
sharing. So
agree.
if you have, any of those talents that Eddie has mentioned, or even any other talent that you are still trying to unravel and discover, this is the
Yeah.
time to sit down, go back to the drawing table, and look at what you have and work with what you have.
Yeah.
Because sometimes
I agree.
people are just waiting for employment, they are waiting for like that big break, that big, job to come. But then God has placed so much in your hands, so much.
Yeah.
The things that you underestimate, like me, my writing, for the longest part, I underestimated it. Because I used to write on Bella Niger for years. I would just
Wow.
write articles on Bella Niger, and the engagement was always crazy. Like this, I'm talking about time from like 2011
Wow.
and social media wasn't big. And
Yeah.
on my articles, we would have over 100 comments on Bella Niger.
Wow.
The engagement was
Wow.
crazy. And I was just writing for fun. I didn't think that I was going to write a book. But when I started to take it more seriously, I realized that I could write a book. And when I wrote a book, people were like, "What? Like you wrote a book? Like how?" And for me, I'll be like, "What was the big deal?" It wasn't like a big deal. And people will be like, "It's such a big deal to write a book." So the things that we do so effortlessly, so easily, those things are actually big things. So there's so many people that have things that they do effortlessly. It might be that you're in the house, every time the TV gets spoiled, you're the one that is going to open up the TV and just reassemble
Fix
and
it.
couple it back and fix it. People who have those skills, they don't see it as a big deal. They're like, what's the big deal? But I cannot do that. If my TV
Exactly.
spoils, I'm going to think of buying a new one because I'm not even going to think of who's going to begin to unscrew. Who has that time? So people
Exactly.
have skills that they don't use. So if you have those skills, please make sure you make use of those skills. And that's one of the reasons why we're doing this show, for people to dig deep and just, see those things that they have and see how they can work with what they have. So yes, anyway, thanks for telling us, about your journey. I want us to quickly talk about the book because I see that you don't really talk about the book. And I reached out to you and I said, we need to, we need to get this book on Amazon. So can you just tell us a little bit about your book? And I know that you mentioned that it's going to be on Amazon very soon.
Yeah. So thank you very much for that. So for those who are wondering, I actually wrote a book that was in 2020. It's the title of the book is Canada Express Entry Bible. So it's a book that focuses on express entry process, but more importantly, focused on life in Canada. So after the talk, my plan, by the grace of God, is to revamp it to focus more on life in Canada and things after that, just to give people a picture of life Canada from my
From
perspective.
your perspective.
Because we all have a lot of people have written books. Of course, you as well, you've written lots of wonderful. I'm looking forward to more by the grace of God. So it's I always say the world is like a book of art. We all have various pictures that we have. It's putting the whole picture together, it makes more sense to people. So my book, by the grace of God, is going to be revamped into focusing on life in Canada and career progression and all of that. So that is where I'm going to be focusing on. So by the grace of God, I'm going to release it again and make it available for everyone. So the title of the book once again is Canada Express Entry Bible. I know I can't put that word Bible for exact. People will say, we shall be Bible again. When you say Bible, generally, it's just a book that guides you to do something. So so it guides you. So that's the reason why I used it. Yeah. So thank you.
That's good. I mean, I'm looking forward to getting a copy of mine, to just buying it on Amazon and just also pushing the book and making it become an Amazon bestseller. I know it's going to be a bestseller because it's the information is going to be information that people actually want to people are looking for. So the book will sell itself. The book will sell itself.
Right, good.
Thank you. Awesome. No worries. So is there anything that we didn't touch? We've spoken about the media company. We've spoken about your travel, the travel side of things. Is there anything else that you wanted us to talk about?
Pretty much, I believe everything has been covered. And once again, I really want to appreciate you for, having me on your platform. And, I can always leave a piece of advice to, once again, like we said earlier, my piece of advice is very, very simple. Just any opportunity you're looking for out there, especially when it comes to traveling abroad. A lot of people want to travel, especially when maybe a guy just talk one thing for television today, your make sense, or they just release one policy, your make sense. People will say, I want to travel, I'm tired, I want to, the urge is always there. And, as humans, the urge comes, I call it seasonal. The urge will come, maybe that period, something is happening in Nigeria, people be like, I want to travel, or something is happening somewhere in Africa, people want to travel. But after a while, the interest will die down again. Everybody go back to their normal lives. Then again, maybe they just hear one of their neighbors, Mama Ikechi has traveled. The next thing, the interest is back again. I want to travel, I want to travel, I want to travel. After a while, it dies down again. It keeps going up and off like an ECG reader or that reads our hearts rate and all of that. So I know people are in that situation right now, but I always say this: the number one key to traveling is knowing yourself. Because if you do not know yourself, you will not know the opportunities available to you. So, how do you know yourself? What are your current skills? What's your current educational background? What's your experience? And of course, what are your talents? People keep ignoring that part. Like we said earlier, people keep ignoring their talents. You cannot run away from your talent. It is there in you. And it will somehow lead you to your destination. The destination you are running from might be different, might be the one that you should be at. So your experience, your academic background, work experience, your talent, you know, in today's world, the people that make money most are people who monetize their talents. They discovered who they are, they push those talents, and now they are making money out of it. Yes. For example, you see YouTube creators, that is who they are, that is their talent, make stuff on YouTube. So you cannot escape your talent in today's world if you really want to make it. And monetize your talent. So putting these things together, knowing who you are generally, you can be able to know the opportunities that are available to you. For example, if you are trying to pursue a country like Canada, for example, and you have evaluated yourself, you have known yourself, and you discover that this opportunity might not work for you because currently you do not have the prerequisite requirements. There's no need pursuing that. You can do two things. Either you build yourself more to meet the requirements for that country you are pursuing, or look for other opportunities. That is how to travel. It is wrong to be pursuing after an opportunity when you have not evaluated yourself, or you have evaluated yourself, but you are running after an opportunity that you do not qualify for.
Yep, it doesn't, it's like chasing shadows. Mm-hmm.
Exactly. Yep. So always know yourself, number one. Once you know yourself, you will know the opportunities that are available to you. And please never run away from your talents, because this is coming from somebody, and of course you yourself, your talents are put to use like literally every. So do not run away from your talent, because that might just be, your talent is hovering around your destiny one way or the other. Thank you very much.
Fantastic. Very, very well said. Thank you very, very much for, sharing your wealth of knowledge. Just before we go, quick question. I mean, you've spoken about your experiences in like different parts of the world, living, schooling, and just being in Nigeria, Russia, now Canada. Yeah. Do you have any regrets?
Being here in Canada.
Being abroad, being out of Nigeria. Sometimes people are abroad and then they feel like they're missing out on Nigeria, on certain things. Yeah. I mean, I'm speaking from a Nigerian's perspective, because I'm from Nigeria, and people ask me things like, oh, don't you miss Nigeria? Don't you miss the parties? Don't you miss your family? Of course, I miss my family.
Of course.
But I think that for me, it's only my family that I really, really miss. I think my friends, loved ones. But do you have any regrets now that you're here? Do you wish that you were back in Nigeria, for any reason?
Well, number one, I'll tell the fact that I do not regret ever leaving Nigeria. I don't regret that at all. Well, but at the same time, having gone around several parts of the world, especially the major destinations, I've come to realize, when I say this, I know people are going to attack me right now, but it is from my perspective. I believe life is literally the same all over the world. The standard of living is different, but life is the same worldwide. Everybody, we have to wake up in the morning and pay our bills, try and make ends meet. Life is the same worldwide. It's just the standard of living and access to opportunities that is varying based on the country. Yeah. Life is the same worldwide. So having been across the world, I always say, I do not regret leaving my country, number one. I would say it's not like I'm being proud. It's just the fact that when you know what you are pursuing, you want to make sure that you achieve it, and you don't want to look back. And just like, for example, in the Bible, children of Israel, they were like, let's go back to Egypt. No, I'm in the promised land. I can never look back at Egypt and be happy. So that is just my point. Yeah, you get me. So that is just the reality for me. But at the same time, looking at the world generally, life is the same. And of course, wherever you are, even those of us here in Canada, there, we always have our various struggles. It's not like those of us who are abroad, we have arrived, everything is 100%. No, there's
Nope.
always a challenge
Yep.
somewhere, at various stages of our lives. For example, who just landed is looking for a job. Who just got a job is looking for a house. Who just got a house to rent and is looking for a car. Who just got a car and a house to stay at, is looking to buy a house. Who just bought a house is looking for how to pay mortgage. Who just have, it keeps going and
Keep
going and
going.
going.
Keep going.
It doesn't end. The goals keep shifting. So, but the point is, irrespective of where we are, we need to be grateful, and we also need to hope for better opportunities. So I will never regret leaving my country for a reason.
Awesome. Thank you so
Thank you.
much. I mean, the goals
Yeah.
keep shifting. You
Yeah.
have something today, tomorrow you're already thinking of the next thing, and you're already thinking of the one after that. And
Yeah.
you know what I always say, and I never say this enough. I keep saying it, and Miriam too says this as well. Miriam of Canada Vendors. As human beings, what a lot of people forget is people forget to celebrate those little, tiniest, minutest wins. So it's like, oh my God, I wrote a book. I want to become an Amazon bestseller. Boom, I'm an Amazon bestseller. I'm already thinking, oh my God, I have to write my next book and I have to make sure it's up. People don't really take out time to celebrate those wins. And me, I personally, I always ensure that I take out time to digest those wins, no matter how little they look. And I celebrate them. And I even celebrate them on my social media as well sometimes. And, I'm sure some people will be giving me side eye when I post some things, or I post myself dancing. Maybe I like on top what, please,
Yeah.
On top this small book, please, what's the big deal? But the truth is,
That's people. Yeah.
yeah, that's human beings for you. And if we actually give those people any form of acknowledgement, or if we see them, then we're never going to progress. We're never going to even celebrate those wins. So I always tell people, whatever it is that you achieve, if it's that, oh, you've always wanted to come to Canada, you are finally here, there is always going to be another dragon to slay.
Yeah.
There's always going to be another battle to fight and conquer. But the fact that you've actually even made it, take a deep breath, breathe in, breathe out, be thankful, be grateful, because
Yeah, they finish.
you know the finish. You know the finish.
Like,
Another thing, as you've entered Canada, your family members are already waiting for you to send.
bring
You've
money.
not even gotten job. If the landlord has not even given you a house to rent, they are telling you to bring credit. They are telling you to go and bring credit reports.
Yeah.
You've never lived in the country. You want to work, you're applying. They are telling you don't have Canadian Express. Hello, sir. How am I going to have Canadian Express when you've not given me the opportunity
Give me a job.
to even do this work that I want to do? So it's like people need to understand the way life works. And I think that for me, my own life started getting even more and more, colorful and beautiful when I started learning to take out time to celebrate the wins, no matter what win it is. It could be just something small that, you share with somebody and the person is going to be like, what's the big deal? But guess what? It's actually a big deal because it's
It's a
something
big
that
deal.
you're trying to achieve.
Yeah.
And then, boom, you get that thing.
Yeah.
Somebody else may have been trying to get that thing within 10 years and they still haven't gotten it. And then, boom, within 3 months, you got it. But then you're already thinking, hey, God, hey, as I've gotten this thing, hey, how will I? But don't take that time to even be thankful for the one that you got. So
you are received already.
for everybody watching, just, always take out time to celebrate those little wins. Be thankful, be grateful, because your present situation is someone else's prayer point.
Absolutely.
Somebody is,
Absolutely.
somebody is praying to be in your shoes, and you are in those shoes, and you are trying to get out of those shoes to enter another shoe.
You have a friend shoe maker, may help you make better shoe for you.
Exactly.
Seriously, a few days ago, I was at the bank. I went to the bank. I saw something that just hit me. I felt like sharing. We're talking about life generally and all. It was a dictionary written on the board. It says success. Now, definition: achieving your plan or purpose. That was all. achieving your plan of purpose. So people, success is a very expensive word that people kind of misuse a lot. Success can be as little as, okay, today I plan to go to Walmart. When I get back home, I wash my clothes and I cook some food and I read 3 pages of my book. And when you end up doing that, is your plan for that day. When you end up doing those things, and at the end of the day, before you sleep, when you lay on your bed and you're like, oh, you take inventory of your entire day. What did I do today? Did I do everything that I planned to do today? Oh,
I
yes,
spend my whole day on Instagram doing a propos.
Exactly. Then at the end, you're like, oh, I actually did everything today. My dear, you have just been successful for that day.
You see?
That is it.
You see? I love that.
See?
And that's true.
Yeah.
That is true.
Yeah.
That is true. For every time I have a to-do list and I have things that I need to do, even if I'm able to do just 4 out of the 7 things I've written, when I go back, like when I get on my bed at night and I just do a recap of my day, and just do like to myself, I'm just cheering myself on and I'm like, yes, I was able to do
You did it.
Because it's a big deal.
Yeah.
It's a big deal. It's a win.
That's how success starts. You know, talking about the big dreams. The big dreams are divided into day-to-day activities. If you're able to break down that big goal you're looking at, I want to travel abroad, you break it down into day-to-day activities, and you're able to achieve each day. You are successful because your success is built within 24 hours. It's not built in 5 years' time. It is what you do today, do tomorrow that builds towards the success that you're trying to achieve. So that is it.
Definitely. Wow. Thank you so much, Eddie. See, our talk no they finish. If they leave us here, we'll be here till 3 p.m. I will still be talking and talking and talking. So thank you so much for, taking out time to come here. I just want to quickly acknowledge, some of our viewers. We have so many messages, so many messages. But I'm going to read a few. But while I'm reading a few, I want to bring up 2 people, only 2 people. If you want to meet Eddie virtually, you want to ask him questions about maybe your travel plans, or, you just want to ask him questions about him, being here in Canada, or you're an educator. I feel like this would be a good opportunity for people who work in the education sector abroad to hop on and ask you questions. People who want to move abroad, as educators, because that's how you were able to get your work permit. If you want to jump in, just signify in the comment section, and also send a request to join us, and I would bring in only 2 people. I'm not going to bring in more than 2 people. So the first 2 people to signify interest in the comment section, and people I'll pull up. Or you just want to say hi to Eddie, you've been following him since and you're a fan. I just want to say, man, bro, you are doing well. Just hit us up and we'll bring you in. So first 2 people to signify and also just invite themselves up, I would pull you in. But yeah, let me just acknowledge some of our viewers. I know Canada Vendors has been in the comment section. Thank you, Miriam. Miriam has been here commenting. Also, Eddie she's been giving you so many awesome comments as the man behind the scenes at the event. So yeah, I see. I'm not going to read all the comments, but I'm going to read a few. So this is from Moschi, my baby. I hope I got it wrong. Is it Moschi, my baby? Please, apologies if I didn't get it wrong. And the person says, life is the same all over the world, but our government system is not the same. So
of course. Incomparable. Of course. I know.
I didn't talk it. So DJ Akinbobola, that's my hobby, says it's called the circle of life. Oh yes, I guess that's when we're talking about, life. Thanks for that. MCH, that's my older sister. She's watching from the UK. She says, well said, my bro. I have just sorted out my garbage today and I am so happy. I feel successful already. Fantastic.
Yeah, that's it.
That's a win.
Yeah.
That's a major win. Oluwafumilayo Onoyemi says, I would like a friend that is in the education. I would like a friend that is an educator to connect with Eddie. Unfortunately, she is not on this live. Okay, fantastic.
Okay.
KJ Bash says, I'm an educator here in Nigeria, interested in becoming an educator in Canada. So if you want to join the live, you want to ask Eddie, the opportunity I'm giving now, 2 people, giving them the opportunity to join this live to ask Eddie. So you'll be able to come on the live and ask him your questions personally. So KJ Bash, if you want to join the live, send a request to join. Or I don't know if I can pull you in. I don't know if you'll be ready to. I don't know if you want to come. I don't know, but if you want to come, just send a request. I don't. Do I even know how to? Okay, 2 people have actually requested to join. Remco and my friend Essay. I don't think Essay really wants to join. She's in the US and she works in the medical field. But I'm trying to add this person that sent a request. If you want to join, send a request. KJ Bash, send a request. If you want to join, you can. I don't know, Eddie, how do they join? You just request to join the video. There's a way you request to join. Or maybe leave the live and then come back into the live. I think when you first join a live, it gives you the option to try to request to join. So I think that's the only way I know. So you can leave the live, log out, then get back in and then send a request to join. But this offer is only open for the next 2 minutes. You know, this is a fantastic offer. If I had the opportunity to meet somebody like Eddie and I was living abroad, I would jump on it and just quickly send a request. I know some people may not be techy enough. Maybe you guys don't know how to do it. And the person is saying, can she connect with Eddie later? Yeah, I guess you know, you can. The
For
person
sure,
can
you can do that.
follow
Yeah,
Eddie.
my email is on my profile. So for anybody who is having problems connect Instagram profile, click on the link. They can send me an email so that we can have that you know,
A
deep
consultation
talk.
or just have a
Because I did a deep talk on my email a lot. I write a lot, share links. That's why I can be able to share you links, information, and all of that regarding anything you want. So if you're having problems joining the live, you can send me an email. Just go to my profile on Instagram, click on the link, and you see an option to send me an email.
So, okay, so wait, this person is trying to join, but the person is okay. I think I've seen the option. KJ Bash. Let me just try to join, invite the person to join. Let me just get the person's handle. Just give me 1 second, Eddie. KJ. Okay, yeah. So KJ Bash has sent me the request. So KJ Bash is going to join us now, and then I'm going to give one more person the opportunity to come here and ask Eddie, or if you want to ask me any question, this is a good opportunity for you to hop on to the live. So, hello.
Okay.
Hi. Is
Hi.
that KG? Hi,
Yes,
KG.
yes. Hello, Mr.
Hi,
Eddie.
happy weekend.
Same to you.
KG, no hello, Lady Ariyike. Now, wow. Now, wow.
Oh, so sorry.
I was there fancying you like, KG. Wow.
Don't mind me.
Hello, Mr. Eddie. Now, wow.
I'm
When you
so
get to
sorry.
Canada,
Hello,
maybe it's me
Lady
that'll come and pick you up
Ariyike.
from the airport
Hello.
to KG.
Abby now.
Nice to meet you. So over to you. So whatever
Yes.
you want to ask him, please feel free.
Okay. I'm an educator here in Nigeria, and I've been. I'm trying to wonder what's the step in one becoming an educator in Canada. Do I have to? Because I know I spoke to a friend. She's an educator in. Well, we were both working together. We were colleagues in Nigeria, and I asked her that okay, I have a PGC in a UK school, though I did it online. Can I go in straight to teach? She now said that it doesn't work like that in Canada. I have to do maybe like a bachelor's of education before I can become a teacher, you know. So I would like to ask, although I've searched for some programs top-up program for bachelors. So I don't know if I'm doing the right thing,
Okay. Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you very much for the question. So, first of all, talking about the top-up programs, if I talk about the steps, top-up programs can be in the area of postgraduate certificates or postgraduate diploma. Now, education is a very big field, so you have to be sure of which part of education you're looking at. We have the major one that people do, especially in Ontario, is early childhood education. Yeah, it's a very early.
Elementary. I'm interested in the kindergarten and
Yeah,
elementary school
that's
aspect.
early childhood education. So the first thing you can do,
Okay.
since you're trying to use the school route, is to find postgraduate certificate programs, especially if you can in Ontario. Ontario is very, very good in that field of early childhood education. So you look for postgraduate diploma or postgraduate certificate programs in early childhood education. And once you are done studying examination, before you can become a fully fledged teacher. And another person that can also that's also been a very good resource in this area that I've also gained lots of inspiration from is her name is Ontario teacher from Lagos.
I was about to mention her. Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
You should follow
Ontario teacher
Ontario
from
teacher
Lagos.
from
I
Lagos,
know her.
Bumi. That's
Yeah,
Bumi Awusami.
I follow
yeah,
her.
because
Ontario.
Yeah.
She's
yeah,
a good
she is a
resource.
major resource for those who are trying to go through the area of education because I didn't come as a student. I've not studied here in Canada at all, but I'm looking towards that. So I came as a worker on a work permit. But for those who are looking towards using the education route, to first of all come in and then apply for that certification exam, you have to, you can follow her. She's very good in that area as well. So there are two areas, through education or through work. Now, talking about education again, there are several areas. There's early childhood education, there's adult education. So you need to be sure which area you're looking at because education is not just any, it's just like saying, a lot of people write me, for example, they're like, Eddie, I want to become a doctor. I want to study medicine in Canada. Like, there's nothing like medicine in Canada. There are different fields. Do you want to be a pharmacologist? Do you want to be a biochemist and all? So there's a specific area you need to target in education if you really want to use that route. So the major and the best is early childhood education. So if I may ask, what age grades have you been working with? Is it adults or majorly kids? Or what area are you looking
Majorly kids. Majorly kids. I've been an early childhood teacher all my teaching
for? Okay.
career. So I'm just diving into the primary school.
Okay. So that means
Yeah.
you should be looking at
Yeah.
early childhood education. It's just an example, it's just an advice. Yeah, it's gonna just fit into your career.
Yeah.
For someone like me, I even during my experience going around the world, even in Russia and back then, I worked with kids a lot. But as I was going towards the end of my stay over there, and as I started teaching adults more, so I was now working with companies and businesses. So I'm now more of an adult teacher than a kids teacher, and that's what I'm still doing in Canada. I'm a training specialist in Canada. My job has been with adults all along the way. So yeah. So early childhood education is
Thank you.
very, very good. You want to look into that.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you very
Awesome.
much.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Lady Ariyike.
You're welcome. You're welcome. And thank you for joining us. Thanks. Hope the
Thank you
advice,
so
hope the
much.
advice is helpful or will be helpful.
Yeah. I'll hit up Bumi
Please do.
Awosami.
Yeah.
Yeah,
For me, is a good response.
I will.
All right.
Thank you
Take
so
care.
much. Yeah.
Okay. Bye. So if we have one more person that will be joining us, then we can bring in the person. But I am not sure I have anybody else here, and we have to go. We've already exceeded our time. I think, do I have? Okay, no, I don't have anybody else to join. So yes, thank you so much everyone for joining. Make it a date, same time next month. This happens once a month where, I host moving abroad immigrant success stories on Instagram Live every first Saturday of the month. Please join us at 11 a.m. EST. Make sure you're here. Our next guest is going to be someone also as explosive as Eddie. So please look out for the poster when we post the poster and make sure you join us. If you also have a special event or you have a project that you're working on or a product launch, you can hit me up and then I can organize a special Instagram live for you. But aside from that, see you guys same time next month. There are so many questions in the comment section. I see people messaging, but please, please, please reach out to Eddie via his email address. It's in his bio, and you can take it up from there. If you want to connect with me as well, please, 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 you can send me an email at arikeweekly@gmail.com. You want us to showcase your brand, you want me to promote your brand, or you just want to hit me up for whatever reason it is, or you're an immigrant who is moving to Canada or any part of the world and you need somebody to coach you, put you through, reach out to me. I would be more than happy to book a consultation with you. But yeah, until next time we see, take care of yourselves. Remember everything that we shared, everything that we said. Use whatever it is in your hands to achieve other greatness, great things, because a lot of people are just waiting for that big opportunity or that big break to come, but the big break is here. It's in your hands. So use what you have and celebrate those wins, the little wins, big wins. Take out time to relish the moment and just be thankful. Thank you, Eddie, for sharing your story. I
Thank
am
you very
even
much.
more inspired to keep going, to keep forging ahead, and to
Yes.
keep smashing those goals. So yes,
Thank you very
thank you.
much.
Follow Eddie, follow me as well on Instagram, and yeah, we would love to hear from you guys.
Thank you very much. All
Take
right.
care. Bye. The video is going to be saved here on my page. So if you have friends or family that missed this session, you can also tell them to watch the session much later, because I saw a lot of people saying, oh, my friend is an educator, I wish my friend was able to join and things like that. Even if your friends didn't join, please, 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 you can share this video with them. I will save it because I feel like there's so much information that people can tap into, and information that can help you. There's power in knowledge, in information. There's so many things that I didn't know before this live session, most especially that you can be working in the education industry in Nigeria, be a teacher and get a work permit and move to Canada. I didn't know you could do that. Or, be it in any other part of the world, you can be an educator and get a job, get a work permit. So much nuggets, so much information shared here. So share it with your friends and tell them to watch the video and, process the applications accordingly. So thank you once again for watching. Make sure you follow me on Instagram. Make sure you follow Eddie Osama as well. And set your reminder for next month where I would be here for another episode of Moving Abroad Immigrant Success Stories. Take care, guys. Have a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful Saturday. Peace out.